Good evening. Remember the good old days when the slogan "Britain isn't working" just related to unemployment? It's now 2024 and it seems a wider breakdown in our society is playing out before our eyes. Social services try to remove children from an address in Leeds, presumably because they faced danger. But what ensued was a riot involving hundreds of people, with locals setting fire to a bus as hapless cops watched on, seemingly powerless to do anything about it. Perhaps they didn't want to inflame community tensions. The last thing you want is to be accused of racism as someone flips over a police car. Police officers are violently attacked in Manchester Airport. Sympathy goes straight to the thugs. We've had those weekly so-called peace marches that feature calls for the wiping out of Israel and intifada, which means suicide bombers on buses, trains and in shopping centres. Stop and search to find weapons seems very sensible, but that has been cut back due to political correctness. Shoplifting, burglary and even sexual assault have essentially been decriminalised if you look at the disastrously low rate of convictions. You've got MPs facing death threats for voting the wrong way in the House of Commons. You've got people being murdered for their Rolex and having their mobile phone snatched out of their hands by motorbike thieves as they walk down the street. None of this is shocking now. It's just modern Britain. The police punish the victims, telling us not to go out with our valuables on show or to reveal our phone in the street. A uniformed soldier gets stabbed multiple times near an army barracks in Kent. Barely makes the headline. And on Monday, 3 children slaughtered at a dance class. The violence and disorder that played out in Southport in the aftermath of this tragedy was appalling, and it cannot be justified. But it's important to understand where this anger comes from. There is genuine anger, genuine fear from ordinary people about our divided society and about others living in parallel communities where British values and even the rule of law are not respected. Britain's strictest head teacher, Catherine Birballs-Singh, tweeted the following. She said, "Multiculturalism fails when politicians cross their fingers and hope it works out. This combined with rampant white guilt. This combo results in Southport, an example of multiculturalism failing." She goes on, "Multiculturalism must be managed." And she joins me in the next hour. We are living under mob rule. Who's in charge? Because it's not the police. Compare their response in Southport last night to the chaos in Leeds 2 weeks ago when they did nothing. People are angry at the blatant two-tiered approach from the authorities. Just take a look at the difference in Home Secretary Yvette Cooper's response to Leeds and then Southport.
Unacceptable scenes of disorder and criminality that we saw last night. The community is working very closely together in response to what was a local child protection incident. So appalling to now see those same police facing violent attacks from thugs on the streets who have no respect for a grieving community. It's a total disgrace. Frankly, this is a time when everyone should be showing respect for a community and for the police.
The government is failing in its primary role, which is to keep order on the streets. Knife crime is normal, gun crime is normal, and murderous gangs are embedded in every community. Look at this carnage playing out in Southend-on-Sea yesterday for a supposedly happy summer day out. Without a tough zero-tolerance approach to crime and a proper effort at integration, bringing together our communities and enforcing British values, well then without that, this great country risks being turned into a lawless hellhole. The genie is now out of the bottle. I'm not sure it will go back in.